Hey everybody, welcome back to another Fly Tying Tuesday here at AvidMax. My name is Taylor, and today we are tying up a little bug that I call the high-rise emerger. It is a super deadly little pattern trailed behind another dry fly. It does a really good job at sitting just in that water film, just barely underneath the surface. The foam on the little head here kind of helps carry that fly upward, put the butt end riding a little bit down, and looks exactly like a little bug trying to break out of its husk and emerge. So with that being said, we will dive right into this guy. So for the hook, I am using a 2488, quote 2488. I don't really like the heavy version of this for this fly. I think it kind of weighs it down a little too much. So this one I am tying in a size 20. You can tie down into a 22. The peacock curl gets a little big, which you'll see kind of later, but yeah, my favorite size is 20. So with that being said, as always, we will lay down a base of thread, and for thread I'm using some Semperfli Nano silk in the 18-aught or 30 denier, and then I'm using the olive color. If you want to mimic a trico, you can tie it in black if you want, but I love this olive for, you know, midge imitation, bluing olive imitation. Yeah, love olive. So tie that in, and we will tie in our first material, which is going to be some tailing material. I have some CDL by Hareline in a light speckled or speckled brown, light speckled brown. Yeah, just typical tailing stuff. So we'll trim maybe 4 or 5 individual little fibers out of this feather. And tie that in. Now, you notice I wrapped pretty deep into the bend of the hook. I like these feathers to be pointed almost down. Wrap that in, hold them back, pull them to the length that I like. Right there. Try to hold them down with my finger and gently wrap these guys in. So you get a little deeper wrap. And they're gonna suck into my vise a little bit, but that's okay. I like a long body on this. I like to use as much of the hook as I can get away with, because realistically I'm not really tying anything else past this fly. I'm not tying on a dropper, so I'm not worried about it compromising a knot or anything. So beyond that, we will wrap forward again just to get another length of thread on there. We'll wrap back, and then you see that tailing material kind of darkens up the body. I like that look, and I like to go a step farther. So maybe halfway down the body, a little bit past the hook point, I like to take a black marker and color my thread black, because I want the butt end to be a little bit lighter than the body to make it look like even more of an emerging bug. So we'll kind of start there and slowly start wrapping forward all the way up to the hook eye. From there, we'll wrap back maybe halfway and tie in our kind of main thorax material. For that, I'm using some ostrich plume in natural gray. And I am taking a feather from the top of the plume where the feather is the smallest. You can tell even one of the smaller feathers, it's pretty big. So we are going to use the very, very tip of this feather. The smallest we think we can get away with, and not have it break. So we'll get a couple thread wraps to lock that bad boy down. Come through with our scissors, trim out, tag end, and we'll wrap forward to the hook eye, but not all the way up against it. Here, the next thing I like to do is tie in the foam. I like to tie in the foam here, so I'm not wrapping back over the ostrich herl, or ostrich plume, and breaking off those fibers, because those fibers can be pretty delicate. So we'll trim our excess, and then we will fold it over. So we'll tie it kind of long ways over the hook eye. We'll fold it back over itself and create just an itty bitty little bubble there. And then we're gonna lock that down with a couple more thread wraps. That's secure. We'll come in, trim out the excess, hopefully without trimming anything else off. We'll set the bobbin in the bobbin cradle and start wrapping our ostrich plume around. I'm gonna do some really tight wraps here, all the way up to the foam. We're gonna give it a locking thread wrap or two and trim out the extra there. From here, we're gonna come in and do a real quick whip finish. Ooh, try not to break anything here. You can even color that part black if you would like. I think the ostrich herl kind of covers it up for the most part. We'll come in, trim out our extra thread, pull out those tailing fibers. And then if I was not filming this, I would fish this as is, but because I can see some of those ostrich herl fibers got a little wonky, I'm gonna come in and trim it up just for the camera, but the fish probably cannot see that. All right, there you have it. That is the high-rise emerger. Like I said, super deadly little pattern, especially as fish get a little more finicky as we come into winter. The bugs get a little bit smaller. This one has absolutely cleaned up for me along the South Platte, along the Frying Pan, any tailwater where there's kind of small midges year round. So give this one a try. As always, you can find the materials on our website or linked in the description. Go ahead and like and subscribe if you liked this bug, and we will see you on the next one. Thank you.